following podcast may contain strong language. Listener discretion is advised.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to Hallmark Greatness podcast, where we take you on a pointless tandem bike ride through the nightmare world of Hallmark and made-for-TV movies. I'm Joe, and with me as always, she's taken to handing out clothes to deaf kids from her stinky, stinky caravan. It's Bernie.
Hey, clean that caravan.
Did you listen to it talk to you?
I hugged it and everything.
And here, fresh from securing a deal for the grant proposal from Sir Grant Proposal, it's Katie.
Hello.
There was nothing else I can remember about that film. Oh, it was so boring. If you want to keep up to date with all of the Hallmark of Greatness gossip, you can follow us on Twitter at Hallmark of Great, all one word, or we are on Instagram and Facebook at Hallmark Greatness. How are we, everyone?
Tired.
Good. Tired.
Yeah. There may be cutting in and out issues. It's absolutely lashing it down here.
It's storm. The storm's here, thunder and lightning here.
Ooh, very, very frightening.
And I have a cat right next to me on this chair.
It's all right. She's a regular feature in
Is she?
this now. Yeah, she got.
Oh.
I think I've got her meowing. As just like a little sound clip. So I'm still important anyway. But yeah. Right. Where is it? No, wait. I'm trying to find the button because I don't know where it's gone. All my things are the wrong way around. Let's get into this week's film. 2017's Campfire Kiss. Barney, your synopsis.
Helen Gold is a spoilt princess and does nothing for herself. The untimely death of her rich nana means that Helen is left her multi-million-dollar Center Parcs-like company, but on one condition. Helen must camp in the wilderness for a week and sustain herself. Helen is about to throw it all away until she meets handsome wood whittler Chip Tarpaulin.
Nice.
Can she tame his wild heart, and can she learn to be a better human through chopping wood and eating s'mores?
Probably.
Not far off.
Center Parcs style company. Such a lack of commitment to the bit there. You're not sort of, I don't know, a million miles away. The actual synopsis for this. Feeling disconnected from her teenage son, a protective mother decides to step outside of her comfort zone and take camping. But as soon as she arrives, she begins butting heads with her handsome cabin neighbor, a single father and outdoorsman who is also in search for connection with his teen daughter. Friction soon sparks a flame as these opposites attract. Stars Danica, McKellar and Paul Greene. I'm coming straight out the gate. Did not care for this. After having, again, I had to watch it 3 times over like a 2.5-month period, which is, prisoners in Guantanamo don't get that.
I thought it was quite nice.
It was solid.
It.
It was solid Hallmark nonsense. I like Danica McKellar. Didn't care for Steve. And
Steve was a smug bastard, wasn't he?
there was a bit where I smashed his face in with that percolator thing. And young Sheldon can get in the fucking bin. Both the show and the kid in this, who isn't young Sheldon, but may as well have been. Right, Campfire Kiss. Let's get into it. We open up with aerial shots of a town, as we always do. And we're introduced to Winnie from the Wonder Years. Danica McKellar, who plays Dana?
Yeah.
Dana accosting her child while he's trying to sleep.
Yeah, I didn't catch what she did to him to wake him up.
She just smacked him about the head. Yeah. Get up. And she's like, the early bird gets the worm. And he says, what about the early worm? And I was like,
good point. Yeah.
Indeed, isn't it? We're not all birds. 50% of the population. He's eating his breakfast and reading some Dungeons and Dragons book or something. And she's like, no.
Shiz, it was called.
It was called what?
Ashes.
Oh, right. I thought you said jizz.
That's nothing like what I said.
I only caught the end bit of it. Yeah. And he's like, oh, but the wizards. She's like, no, I have to drive you to school now because, right, I meant to look this up, but I didn't. What is the American high school thing? Because there's freshmen, sophomores, and then oldies. Like, why don't they just call it one? Yeah, but then there's like juniors and then seniors, is it?
Yeah, and he was in middle school, wasn't he?
So he was going up to big school.
He was going into big school, yeah.
He's 13, so it must be like last year, middle school.
Right, okay. I don't understand why they don't just call it 1, 2, and 3. No,
I don't. But then sophomores, freshmen sounds quite cool, doesn't it?
I'm never sure which way round it is.
No, I
though.
don't know.
No, you see, you fresh, that's nice, but soft. Oh. Anyway, yeah. So he has to go to school, and he's like, "Mom, you're embarrassing, even though you are Winnie from the Wonder Years." And she's like, "But I'm dead good at maths," which is a real life thing. Apparently, she is like a maths wizard. We've already covered that in the other one, can't you? That she was in.
You're stepping on my facts already.
She's at school doing stuff about. Oh no, she walks in and we meet her ethnic best friend Julie, or Julie not appearing in this film. Appears at the beginning and at the end to round it out.
Give her good advice. That's what she's there for, isn't she?
She's like, "Girl, you need to get a man," because
But she said she's got lesson plans up to 2045 when she can retire. And I was like, no one's got lesson plans for that far unless you're a shit teacher.
See, I missed out on this thing of her being incredibly organised, because that's the thing at the end, isn't it? That's why she has a brown face and stomps off. So I must paraphrase brown faces like a Higgins slang for having a sulk. I don't even know where it came from. I'm assuming it's Barney.
No, it was from a book about feelings, and unfortunately, the sad face was a brown person. So that's why we called it brown face.
Why you called it brown face?
Why are you blaming me?
Because it's all the kind of stuff that you did. But yeah, Kunga Kunga, for example.
Shut up. Anyway,
Can you explain that one?
No, I don't even understand what that. Yeah. But I missed that whole point of her supposedly being incredibly organised, and that's why
the camping was a big thing, because it was something spontaneous that she had.
Yes.
Well, that's why her and
Does the
Steve
same
have
thing
the falling out at the end, and she drinks the stomping off cordial. I missed it entirely. It's only at the end I went, oh, this makes sense now.
She does exactly the same thing every night. That's what her friend was saying. You're going to do Fajita Friday tonight. You're going to do this on spring break. So then she decides to do something spontaneous and goes camping.
Before all that, she embarrasses young Sheldon in front of his fancy piece, Tabitha, which is a cat's name, not a person's name, isn't it?
I'm pretty sure it's a Cabbage Patch doll's name as well.
Possibly. And he's like, "Oh, thanks, Mum." They call them cleats as well, which I don't like. Football boots.
Yeah.
I thought cleats were the thing. Well, there's another thing I thought it was, but I thought it was the thing that clips your shoes into a bike.
Oh, it could be. Actually,
they're special, because my ex was used to get into triathlons, right? And when I was dating him when he was just starting, and he just got these clippy-in shoes which he called cleats, and he rode up to it was so funny. He rode up to a traffic light and then just slowly fell down because he couldn't unclip his feet. And it was just the best thing ever.
Brilliant.
There's no way of getting out of that once you're down as well.
You were just like
a turtle on your back.
His legs going round.
It was great.
It's good. He goes home and he's like, "Oh, great, Fajita Fridays. Great, Mum." She's like, "Did you do well at the soccer? Did you score?" And he goes, "No, I'm a defender." And she goes, "Well, did they not score?" And I'm like, clues in the name, innit, really? But he's also
not
on the
knowing
bench.
about football and this is being thick, isn't there?
Well, I got a sports joke about that later. I have to look it up. And he's like, "No, I'm just going to go and play terrible guitar until tea's ready, if that's all right." He's like, "Yeah." And she's like, "No, we're going to do something fun for spring break." She gets her laptop out, Zingles.
Camping fun.
Camping fun. Bear Creek. Hot water showers is one of their defining characteristics, which is better than no water showers or sand showers, isn't it?
I have been to a campsite where they didn't have hot water showers. And
we all have, yeah.
Coldest thing I've ever endured.
It cost me 50p for the privilege of finding that out as well. The fastest shower you'll ever have in your life. And she's like, "No, we're going to go camping." And next thing, she's in a camping store. Right, with this guy who's a dickhead.
He is an absolute bellend.
Right, because she picks something up and he goes, "Put that down," or something. And then she goes, "I'm sorry, what?" And he does that just a minute finger thing. And I'd be like, "Fuck you." Spin kick you into the shadow realm. And then he goes, "Oh, I'm on the phone." And I'm like,
they do the full conversation where she thinks they're having a back and forth, don't they?
Yeah.
And it's like, and he goes, "Love you," and she's like, "I beg your pardon."
Yeah.
And then he goes, I was on my douchey Bluetooth.
I was on my
thing.
Bluetooth, even though it's 2017 and no one's using them anymore anyway, you prick. And she goes, oh, so you weren't talking to me. And he goes, I held up a finger. And I'd be like, there's 2 fucking fingers for you, pal.
Yeah.
I'm off down.
Snapped his finger off.
Yeah, I'm off down Halfords. Fuck yous.
Well, that's essentially what she does.
Yeah, but then she's like, oh, I can't open a door because I'm a ditzy woman. And I was like, hit him with that pan. Like, but he's the owner.
He just says, like, smugly staring at
Yeah.
him.
And I was just like,
when he does the thing of, oh, I want to speak to the manager. He goes, oh, yes, well, what would you like to say to him? And I'm like, oh, fuck off. I know you're the manager.
I'm going to leave a really shitty Yelp review.
Yelp? I know. It's like, no.
It's the lifeblood of the industry. They drive to this Bear Creek thing. I hate this so much already. I don't mind her, but if he's going to be the love interest in this, I'm going to hate it because I just don't like him. They've not portrayed him in a flattering light so far.
Well, at the moment, I don't like her either because in the school, she does that stupid thing where she looks at her watch and then points and then the bell rings. And she does that twice. And I thought, oh, I don't like you.
Oh, we've also missed the lesson where she's talking about probability with dice because that features heavily in this film.
Yeah,
3 times.
Probability.
Yeah, you roll a dice once, you've got a 1 in 6 chance. If you roll it again, you've got another 1 in chance.
The kids are like, oh my God, miss.
I'm not saying the American school system's fucked, but
but then she goes off and so after doing that very simple maths problem, she was like, now go invent a very complicated maths problem for us.
Yeah, like maybe with a D20 or a coin or the that thing from Hellraiser. Yeah, but I forgot all about the dice thing because it was only later on that I was like, oh yeah. So they're driving there. Her son's being a little bit of a knobhead, and he's like pew pew on his thingy, and she's like, nah, come on, get into it. Like navigate using a map. I'm like, I couldn't navigate using a map. I remember going on car trips where you had to have a map, but fuck knows how anyone got anywhere back in the day.
I think that all the time. Like, people just memorize things.
Like, I remember printing out like
traffic
directions on route planner and stuff. And you'd ignore it up until you knew where you were going. Like, and then it'd be like, once you're on a motorway, it was like, stay on motorway. Yeah, but the AA Big Book of the Road.
Yeah.
If you went into the crease, you were fucked. Do A to Z still exist?
Yes.
No, I mean, like, because you just use your phone, can't you now? Like,
they still exist because I bought one not long ago to make a wedding gift for someone.
I just thought, yeah. And she's like, no, get into it. Like, we're going all old school. And then, like, he's talking to his daughter, who's a year older, and wants to go and hang out with her cool friends at a party.
I assumed it was going to be a, like, intergenerational love story at that
That'd
point.
be weird, though, wouldn't it?
I thought it was going to be weird, yeah. But I thought it was going to happen. I put who is going to have the campfire kiss first.
No, she automatically slaps that down. Does what she called Lacey? She's like, none of that for you, young Sheldon.
I'll be a sophomore, or a freshman, whichever one it is.
We're not sure.
And so therefore, I won't be able to speak to you.
Yeah, and he's like, all right. I mean, like, I've got no mate, but yeah. But she's like, no, I won't go do that. And also, like, I'm going to tell Mum you've took me to the mountains. And I'm like, he's trying to connect with you. Like, he is a bellend, but he's trying his best. Although he's taking her to do something that he liked doing.
Yeah,
well, they both did, didn't they? There was no consulting on either child.
I mean, Weenie from the Wonder Years was like, it'll be fun for both of us to do something we're like out of our comfort zone a bit. So I understand that because like young Sheldon's a bit of a wet blanket as well, isn't he? So I get it in that way of like, I'll make you a man, but I don't know. They get there, it's all shite. They're in chipmunk camp.
Yes, and then we meet Beverly, interfering Beverly.
Magical Beverly.
Go away, Beverly, wherever I am. You're there behind me.
Have you done a snog yet? Come and pet this horse.
She's there all the time.
Also, it gets weird. This camp, I'm sure there's like bits we don't see where they're all in the nude in the snow, like, and stuff. Because the ending ceremony is it makes the hearts and hands and voices from Dirty Dancing look normal. Also, right, yeah. So she gets there, and they're in the overflow bit of it.
Yeah,
they're not in the proper cabins. They're in like some tents.
Yeah, because I think it's supposed to look a bit rubbish, but then it gets inside and it's like just better than a lot of people's houses. It looks
it's like a proper glamping pod.
Yeah, but I was like, it's canvas walls near snow. It's going to be freezing in there.
Oh, yeah, true. It was nice looking though, wasn't it?
And it was all right.
Yeah,
They had a
fire in
wood
the middle.
burner, yeah. It's not really camping this though, is it? It's more a hotel room with canvas walls. There's an awful lot of tiki torches in this, which it was before tiki torches were associated with certain things. So I guess that's okay. And then I hope they all get mauled by a mountain lion.
No.
No, she goes outside, and of course, Steve and his daughter are in the tent next door. Although instead of carrying his stuff, he's driven his car right up to the tent, which I fucking would.
He's like, privileges. I'll get privileges or something, doesn't he?
Oh, I donated a canoe so I can do what I want. I was like, that's not how it works.
Well, it does. Beverly loves him.
Oh, Beverly's a canoe whore.
We all supposed to get into one canoe then, Steve, are we?
Yeah. I fucking love canoes, mate.
It's the way she whips that map out of Dana's hand. Like, God, she literally just had it.
And then, she's been given a map that she apparently can't read. Then it's like, follow the signs of a picture of a chipmunk.
It wasn't a very good chipmunk as well. It could have been a squirrel. It could have been a sugar glider. I don't know what they've got native.
Question. She couldn't follow that map to the tent, but yet she's followed a map to the campsite.
Because young Sheldon was map reading.
He was asleep.
I mean, I don't know then. There was probably signposts going campsite this way. And then a chipmunk on those as well, just to double down on it. Like, right, what even is this shit? And then I've just got a bear attacks. That's the next thing I remember happening.
Oh, no, right. So they're trying to make a campfire. Steve uses matches and she's doing the proper wood rubby thingy.
Oh, yeah. That's not how you start a fire, Winnie.
And then they eat hot dogs. Hooray!
Oh, apparently that is how you start a fire. It isn't. You'd be there all day doing that. I've seen Bear Grylls in the nude. No. He
came into your tent, didn't he? After your Tupperware.
And then I've put adult and kids mixers, s'mores for the kids. And then I've put I love you s'mores.
Oh yeah, I love you s'mores.
I'm assuming she says that.
She does,
yeah. She does.
Can we get s'mores? I love you s'more. It was literally something as pathetic as that.
Yeah.
Like,
and then Beverly tries to set up Dana with a single dad, and I just wrote, "Fuck you, Beverly."
Beverly, why are you so involved? Beverly lives on the.
She says something like, "Oh, you need to practice your stretches," and then just stretches over and pats him on the back. And
then he starts talking about chlorine.
Yeah, standard stuff.
It's like improv something. Chlorine.
I wonder how much chlorine it takes to clean that pool. None of them have got any game in this.
I mean, they're all older people, aren't they? So I guess it's fallen out of style. But Beverly says, "Oh, there will be a talent contest." It's not a contest because there's no prizes to Beverly. It's just a bunch of fucking idiots getting on stage and doing shit. And
now Winnie it's your bear bit.
Winnie from the Wonder Years says, "Why don't you do a song, young Sheldon? I'll get that song you did with the chords." And I was like, "Cheers, Mum." But young Sheldon starts having fun. He gets into it because, then the bear attacks. So in the middle of the night, they're woken up by something clattering about. Winnie from the Wonder Years immediately panics, grabs young Sheldon and goes into Steve's tent straight away.
Yeah.
Without a care in the world. And I was like, I hope the bear has come for the picnic baskets.
He's come for the Tupperware.
Come for the Tupperware. There's a whole bit. And I was like, this is out of character for Winnie from the Wonder Years because she's a planner. She'd know to put the shit in the bear boxes. Yeah, she's a stickler for the rules. Steve bear shames her for not doing this. Goes to bang some pots and pans at the bear. I tried looking up if this was an effective bear strategy. I couldn't get any information about that.
My friend's husband, who used to be in the army, said the best thing to do is to go, "Whoa, bear!" like that.
Make yourself look big.
Make yourself look big and go, "Whoa, bear."
I don't know. But make yourself look big is one, but banging pots and pans would just annoy it, surely. And then it turns out it's not a bear, it's just a raccoon, being backlit by a torch, I think, isn't it? Was that the joke?
Who knows?
No, because he goes out all brave, doesn't he? And he sees it's a raccoon and comes back in and goes, "Oh, it's okay, I scared it off." And
then the two children are like, "Is your dad just scared it off?" And he goes, "Yeah, that's my dad." That's what he's like.
I hate this so much.
And then we go geocaching.
Right, before that.
Oh.
They're talking, and the young Sheldon's like, "I want to do the climbing wall." He goes on about this fucking climbing wall all the way through this. It's not even a wall. It's like an incline. Right? I've just put, if you love the climbing wall so much, young Sheldon, why don't you marry it?
It's because she doesn't want to let him. So of course he wants to do it.
Oh, because he once fell and hurt his leg a bit. I'm like, ugh. I know she's overprotective and stuff. Lacey is being all like mopey teenager. And I've put, at least he's trying to make an effort with you, Miss Janky Side Braid. They agree to go geocaching. It sounds like that's an adventure for losers.
Shut up. Geocaching is just finding Tupperware in the woods.
Not bears.
Not bears.
No. They go off into the woods after being told not to go off the trail. They immediately go off the trail, the first available opportunity. And then I've put, I hope they get deliveranced. Well, not the kids or Winnie, but Steve could do with some bumming. Right. It goes on about this rock wall some more. It starts raining a bit, and they have to hide.
When they're geocaching, so they've lost the signal, and so
this
they're
is before they lose the signal. There's it rains a bit. They have to hide under some trees, and they pair off boys and girls. And Steve's like, "Oh, do you do sports and stuff?" And he's like, "Yeah." And Winnie from the Wonder Years and Side Braid, she's like, "You should do maths because maths is cool. Look at me, I've got it all going on." And she's like,
And then she says something like, "If that makes me a nerd, so be it." It's like, well, it does make you.
I mean, there's more nerdy shit to come. We've got a talent show, yeah. Then the rain stops 20 seconds later, and they move on.
Yeah.
They keep walking. They lose. This is when they lose the signal. And then Winnie from the Wonder Years shits her pants because she hears some dogs ADR'd in from somewhere.
But then immediately doesn't care anymore.
Side Braid's like, no, it must be here. Finds this ammunition box that's got some dice in it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And she's like, she kind of gives it a look, doesn't she? She's like, oh.
Well, I just had visions of that bit from I Think You Should Leave. It's illegal for you to ask me that. And then they're like, the kid's like, "Oh no, I've solved it. We're only 3,900 steps away from the bridge." How is that going to help?
So they start counting and just stepping in that direction.
In a random, I mean, it's snowing, so you could follow your footprints back. But I mean, I don't understand how
I don't believe that they counted. Nobody ever has in the world has actually counted 3,900. And how would it help?
It wouldn't. It wouldn't exactly.
Just go off in a direction.
If they walked back roughly to where they were, they'd find the signal again anyway. Stupid. But they can't leave the geocache without putting something in there. So for some reason, Side Braid puts her house keys in there. I'm like, well, someone's getting burgled soon.
So they'd made a big deal of this key being in her book that she'd been reading. And I was like, what's the significance of the keys? And then she takes the keys off and puts it in the box. And again, still no significance attached to it.
It takes about another 50 minutes for that to pay off.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, maybe she just doesn't want to go home. She's having fun. That's what I thought. And I'm like, it's short-sighted though, isn't it, Side Braid? We hear the wolves again. They count 3,900 and something steps back, laughing every step of the way because numbers are funny.
But they're still counting despite the fact they've seen that bridge.
Stop, innit? After about 100 yards, you'd have been like, right, the signal's picked up now. We're fine. I'll navigate us back. And then, as the kids run off to do kid stuff, drink some hot chocolate probably because they get through about 8 gallons of it each in this film. Steve says to her, "Look behind you." And she goes, "It's not a bear, is it? I really hoped it was." And I put, "No, it's Kevin Arnold and Paul Pfeiffer from The Wonder Years." Again, these are jokes that I found hilarious, but nobody else does. The next day,
Beverly's back.
Beverly's teaching yoga and doing some inappropriate touching.
So judgy as well. She gives her a little shoulder massage, doesn't she? And then goes, "Oh, you're stressed." And she goes, "Oh, I've had a busy morning." And she goes, "I don't think that's one morning's worth of stress, is it?" And you're like, "All right, fuck off, Beverly."
Beverly?
That's all I wrote in this. Fuck off, Beverly.
Why are you here? She's become more relaxed, but as she leaves the yoga thingy, she sees that young Sheldon and Steve are up a rock wall. Sorry, a rock incline. Steve is like good at this because it's for grown-ups, I'm guessing, and young Sheldon is struggling with it.
Well, Steve is just good at all
Outdoorsy
outdoor things, isn't
Yeah.
he? I don't know why the guide's not helping. He's just holding on the rope at the bottom, which is
That's
usually...
all you can do as the thing, isn't it? If you
I
fall
don't know.
off.
The guide tends to go up with you, and it's your partner who holds on the rope rather than...
I've never done it, so I wouldn't know. This is the worst rock wall ever. You wouldn't get this on Gladiators. Wolf chasing you up that. When Winnie from the Wonder Years is excited because young Sheldon's doing really well, and then
she changes her mind.
She slips a bit and she panics. Young Sheldon rings the bell. They come back down. He's like, just lean. And I was like, you could just walk down, mate. It's not that steep. He gets to the bottom and she's like, yay. And then she has a go at Steve. She's like, don't take my child away and make him climb up slight inclines without
in a
my
very
express
safe way.
permission. Yeah, he's got a helmet on and he's geared up. And she stomps off, and he's like, "The fuck was that about?"
She does this thing. It's got a few times where she has like a single tear about something.
Single tear. Young Sheldon is sitting near the campfire playing his guitar. Side Braid comes over and he says, "I'm not very good." Yeah, no shitting, mate. Now this is my point about the first and second year, where she says, "I'm a freshman next year, so I won't talk to you." That's what she says, because he'll be other way around. I'll be a sophomore because you'll be fresh meatman. That's how I've remembered it.
Fresh meatman.
All right, Michael Scott.
Fatty. But why? I just can't use numbers. And then we get the best bit in the thing: the talent contest.
The talent show.
We open with jazz juggling.
The only kind of juggling that you need.
Oh, it's I hate juggling at the best times, let alone with jazz on top of it. And then they're like, can anyone else, after the juggler, they're like, has anyone else got anything? Otherwise, it's the weakest talent show ever. Just one jazz juggler. And we had to bring them in. Side Braid's like, my dad can do a magic trick, which sounds like something Fred West's kids would say. And then he just rips a $20 note in half and then goes, that's it.
It's not his money either.
Yeah, he takes it from the crowd. But I thought it was going to be a bit, like, oh, I can't do it anymore, can't do it, and then do it.
Like, ha ha, yeah.
But no, he just, and it wasn't even funny. He didn't even make a joke of it. He just hands it sadly back to the man and sits back down. And then the woman is like, the announcing woman is like,
I think you find that
is it not Beverly?
Is that Beverly again?
Probably.
Beverly. It's just like, move over, Magic Man. Oh God,
David Blaine, isn't it?
Move over, David Blaine. It's like he just failed. Don't rub it in, Beverly.
I also looked it up, and defacing a banknote is a crime in America, so he could be punished for that. We've got him on camera.
Yeah.
Beverly will turn him in.
She will. She looks like a grass, doesn't she? They're like, anyone else got a talent? And Winnie from the Wonder Years is like, well, I guess I best get up and do this fucking thing then, hadn't I?
It's awful.
She can't even sing.
It's auto-tuned to fuck. It really is. There's bits where it sounds like a robot singing at you.
Yeah.
She gets up and she sings the numbers of pi to the tune of the Sugar Plum Fairy.
Oh, Sugar Plum Fairy! I put Nutcracker. I just get
could be that. It's that one. Do 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 do.
315. Whatever pi is.
3 and 6 and 4 and 2 and 9 and 12 and this. Yeah, and I'm like, what is happening here? This is outrageous.
Really proud of herself, though.
I mean, she busts out at the staff party every year. It's like, oh, here she comes, Winnie from the Wonder Years, doing a fucking pie song again. We've all got to applaud because she'll sulk otherwise.
She might change the tune every year.
Oh, do you reckon? So she's like Cotton Eye Joe one year and then
Cha-Cha Slide.
Eye to the left. And then they're like, okay, that's the end of the talent contest then, I guess. 3 acts. Jazz juggler, shit magician, whatever the French conquers that was. Young Sheldon gets up and plays No Limits by 2 Unlimited on a guitar. It is, yeah. And with that, I'm going to lead you nicely into... Talent contest quiz jamboree. I had a name for it. Yeah. So these are 5 contestants from Something's Got Talent around the world. They might be true. They might be false. If they are true, you can say talent. If they are false, you can say shall not. I don't know. I didn't work out better. But right, you come to a conclusion between the two of you. Number 1, Busty Heart. uses her massive knockers to crush cans, a baseball bat, a watermelon, and wooden boards like in The Karate Kid.
How does she do it? Does she slam them onto things?
I believe so, yes. Based on that one episode of Eurotrash I saw where a woman did that, yes.
I could see her smashing cans. I couldn't see her smashing a baseball bat with them. Are they not I don't know. Go on. Are we having true?
True.
Talent.
Correct. That was a real thing. It was on, I believe, France Has Got Talent, that one.
What was she called? Busty Face.
She was called Watermelon Jugs.
Busting with my busties.
Busty Heart, she was called. Well, I don't think that's her real name. I don't think Mr. and Mrs. Hart decided, what should we call our child so that she grows up to be well-adjusted and not a freakish parlour act. Number 2, the Hypno Horse. Jimmy the Pony uses his powers to hypnotise members of the public with his owner/carer, Jonathan Goodwin.
No. Shall not.
You're right again. There was a hypno dog.
No, there wasn't.
There was a hypno dog who would come on and hypnotise members of the audience.
With his cuteness.
I didn't watch the video because I didn't want to get into drugs or buy a load of kibble and send it to him. Number 3, the human ventriloquist dummy. James and Eddie perform a traditional ventriloquist routine, but they are both humans. This got through to the semi-finals.
Yeah.
What did he sit on his knee and have his hand up his bum?
I mean, if you're going full authentic, yes.
I think that's talent.
It's an adults program.
Busty Heart can compare it. True.
Yeah.
That actually was on television and got through to the semi-finals. How is that an act? It's not ventriloquism. It's just two dudes talking.
It would have been comedy and stuff, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah, there's that comedian who does ventriloquist where she puts like a mask on
Nina
them and makes it
Conti.
look like they're talking. Yeah,
Yes.
she's great.
That's ventriloquism. That's a skill. That's got a gear, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
this was just two blokes talking while one of them sat on his knee. Number 4, James Boyd tried to get the world record for eating the most chicken nuggets in a minute, but only managed 4. They were beaten in this by Ant or Deck. I wasn't sure which one's which.
You only ate 4?
In a minute? How many chicken nuggets can you eat in a minute?
I feel like I could eat more than 4.
In a minute, yeah.
I think I could fit 4 in my mouth.
Can you chew them and swallow in a minute?
You have to let the meat slide down your throat hole. That's what she said.
This wouldn't have been on telly, although if it was on Channel 4
starting
or
us off
something.
with this Ant and Deck detail of one of them beating him. I think it's false, and I think he's throwing us off the scent.
Yeah.
James Boyd did try and break the world record, but it was for eating Ferrero Rocher, and he only managed 4 in a minute.
Oh,
And
You have
was
to
beaten.
unwrap them individually each time.
I believe so, yes. But he
Oh,
was
well, that
was
takes a
beaten
while.
by Ant McPartlin, who managed to eat 6, I think.
he just smashed him with his head.
But the thing was, I watched this one because I was like, okay, let's see how he does. They had 100 of them on them trays that you get Ferrero Rocher in.
But they're
And
not in
he
a
got-
pyramid.
No, that'd be better. Well, he'd be, with this Rocher, you're really spoiling us, Simon Cowell. Yeah. I was like, I could probably do more. I can't do it because hazelnuts in, but yeah, I could probably demolish loads more than that.
You could beat it and then collapse on the floor.
Just be like, my throat. And speaking of which, escapologist Matt Johnson, clamping his chest in a metal straitjacket and locking a clear box on his head that filled with water, he was supposed to escape in 1 minute 47, but didn't and had to be rescued by paramedics.
True.
Are you saying true?
Yeah.
It was true. That actually was on television.
We got all 5 right.
You got all of them correct, yeah. I thought Hypno Horse was really going to stump you, but yeah. He was in this thing, and he said, if I'm in there for longer than 1 minute 47, pull me out. It got to 1 minute 47, and he's like, and they had to literally tip all the water out of his head. It was great.
That get through to semis as well.
I don't think so.
I'd watch that again. Let's watch people not escape from things and nearly die.
Yes. That was talent or no talent. I don't know. Busty Heart for the win. Right, back to the film. That was a fun little distraction, wasn't it? They stomp away from the talent show, and she's like, I'm a nerd. I love Star Wars and Wookiees and that.
Yeah.
And he
And
goes,
he's like, I like Star Trek.
And
End
she
of
goes,
conversation.
I like Star Trek as well. I was like, well, fucking hell, that was leading to now, wasn't it? And
They have a better conversation later, don't they, about what's your favourite constellation? And then he actually names one.
Yes. She says, I'm officially sorry because young Sheldon has said, no, I asked him to take me to the climbing wall. And he was like, is your mum okay with this? And I lied and said, yeah. And so he's like, oh, okay. And then he goes in for a little cheeky kiss. And he gets a hug off her. And I'm like, -1 on Christian.org there. Inappropriate huggage, even though they are in full, like, puffer jacket.
I wrote down what, because she said, I'm officially sorry. And then he goes, and I'm officially starting to enjoy your company.
Oh, sick into my own mouth.
And then tries to go in for a kiss. And apparently that didn't work. Madness.
No, because she sideswipes him like that.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh, good night then. Go inside and just roll around in the snow for a while.
She goes to the camp counselor.
She goes to see Beverly and Teddy the horse. Right? The best bit about this is, in the corner of the stable, they've got rules for the horse to live by, including laugh often, watch the sunset, toast a marshmallow.
Hypnotize everyone.
How can a horse do that? It's got no thumbs.
That's camp rules. The camp rules everywhere.
Why is it in the stables? She says it's Teddy is a Norwegian fjord, and he's not. He's a horse. And she basically goes, oh, well, sometimes you've got to take a risk and all this bollocks. And I'm like, Beverly.
She's like the Yoda of the camp, isn't she? She just gives wisdom out. I've been expecting you here. She practically says to
she's
her.
Like, grab a brush and I'll show you how to brush it. I'll show you how to brush this fjord. There's half an hour of this left at this point. Winnie and young Sheldon are drinking more hot chocolate on a bench. And young Sheldon does wet drinking noises, and I nearly threw up because I heard it. And he's like, oh, it was really fun, and we're having great times, and I really like Steve and Lacey, and I think it's great. And then they cut to like an arts and crafts section, but someone's playing the harmonica right next to the microphone. It's so loud. Oh, I also forgot, because I was listening to it on headphones, at the talent contest, when Dana stands up to do her song, someone in the background goes, yay, Dana!
Probably Chlorine Man.
She doesn't know anyone else.
It's Beverly off to the side. What we got now? Oh, yeah. Someone's making like a boondongle keychain, like in Napoleon Dynamite. Someone is making a bracelet. Winnie from the Wonder Years is just wrapping a load of Hessian round a ribbon or something.
She makes a reef thing out of Hessian ribbon because it's in the tent later.
Oh, okay.
A random kid's building a bird box.
Yeah, I was like, that's dedication. That's a couple of days worth. That he could be off, geocaching or
sorry, Mud.
She wouldn't be allowed. Oh, then they start palling about all the time. They do some stuff on like a shaky bridge. And then they do some archery, and the archery guy should have stopped Winnie from shooting because she's dangerous.
No, is this not when the ex-wife turns up?
Oh, yeah.
So
Sorry, before that, yeah, sorry.
Oh, because they're going to have a campfire lunch, which is hot dogs again, because that's all you can cook on a campfire.
Oh,
and then they go... Then they go into their tents to get ready for the lunch, and she goes, jeans, cargo pants, sweatpants, what's she gonna wear? And then he goes, jeans, another pair of jeans, another pair of jeans, looks like I'm wearing jeans.
Which of these smell least like pork at this point?
And then the ex-wife turns up.
Yeah, because Side Braid has phoned a man saying, this is bollocks, I want to go to a party. A mum shows up and is like, oh, hello, next door neighbour. I see you two are getting on well. I'd be like, who's this bitch now coming in?
Where's Beverly? Get her off.
Beverly, come on. Is she paid? Is she a registered chipmunk? No. She's like, no, I'll just stop here as well. What's happening here? Yeah, then they all start like hanging out together. They do archery. There's no safety net behind those things either, so someone's getting it at some point with them.
All the bears, fine.
That's okay. And then, like, his ex tries to palm him off on her. Because she's like,
you don't want anything to do with him. Pass him on to someone else.
But they seem like fairly, they're not angry at each other. They're fairly amicable. That was the bit I didn't get. Because, but she's like, oh, you'd be great together. And, like, he's
I
not
thought
a bad.
that was meant to just show that she wasn't interested in that. She thinks that it'll be nice. I didn't think it was.
I don't see the reason why she was there.
No, I think it was supposed
She
to
spoiled her child.
introduce some level of friction to it, but it didn't really work.
But Lacey and Dana go for a walk and talk about maths. And she says, doing math is like going to the gym for your brain. Is it though?
Yeah, mate. 3 + 3.
Don't know. Let me just get my 15 kilogram weight and
attach it to my ears. I don't know whether is this part of some Danica McKellar Maths is Cool program thing that she done.
Don't know. She's not
Does
Carol
seem like
Vorderman,
that.
is she?
She does look a bit like Carol Vorderman, to be honest. They both got that same moon face quality going on about them. She's both got big round moon faces. Winnie and young Sheldon climb up the incline, and Winnie breaks the fucking bell by ringing it for about 27 minutes. She just won't let go of it.
I noticed that as well. When they're looking at stars,
is the
and
stars
she asks
bit.
him what his favourite constellation is.
And what was
They've
it?
got no game. I didn't write down what it was. I just put that he actually has one.
Probably
and
the
then-
cowboy or something like that, isn't it?
Well, me and James googled some funny names for constellations.
Do it!
There's one called Booty.
Nice.
That's our favourite.
Has it just got one big star in the middle?
Like the community
It's
flag.
it's a brown giant. Fine. And then Lacey is doing maths on her phone next to a pool. And her dad comes in and was like, "Oh, are you texting Wendy or whatever?" She's like, "No, I'm doing maths because maths is cool now." And he's like, "Cool, have a hot chocolate." And I'm like, how are none of these people diabetic? They're living on a diet of pork and hot chocolate.
This is where the boy comes in and says, "Hey, I've seen you around. I'm the year above you."
I've seen you around. This is the worst teenage acting I've ever seen. A dad comes back, and it turns out that was the key to that old house that she was still hanging on to, that she put in the memory box thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that makes some sense. It's like she's letting go of the past and moving in the future. Or whoever lives in that house is going to get broken into soon.
I found this key fair and square by geocaching, so I get to.
I had to fight
live in your
8
house.
bears for it.
And count 3,000 steps.
3,000 steps. He gives her a bracelet, and she says, "No one's ever made me a bracelet." And that made me a bit sad for her, because I was like, oh, really? In all your life, no one's put like some pasta macaroni on a bit of elastic and gone, "There you go, love."
We missed them kissing. I think they kissed around the constellation.
The kissing happens now, I think. This is the
does
first
it?
big kissing. -1 again, so we're on +2 by my count at this point. And she's like, "Well, what happens when we get home, Steve?" And he's like, "Nothing. You're my sexy mountain girl." And she's like,
I just thought we'd kiss and that would be it. Oh,
Yeah.
that's nice. Thanks, Steve. Fuck you.
And then he
I'll see you
burps,
later.
and he's like, "Oh, pork." She's like, "I can't smell it because mine smell of pork as well." And he's like, "Oh, I thought we'd just kiss and see how it goes." And she's like, "Nope, up with this. I cannot put. Goodbye." And stomps off to her cabin. And young Sheldon's like, "Oh, Mum, will we go into the bonfire?"
And she
And
can't
she's like,
because she's got a single tear again.
"Single tear." And she's like, "We must pack all of our clothes before we leave at first light." It's fucking dramatic, love. Like, just because he's not gone, "Well, I think we should get an endowment mortgage," because fucking hell, you've known him a week. You've known Beverly longer than you've known him.
And she gives better advice. Unless
Yes. But this was where I first got the fact that she's supposedly a planner and he's a free spirit. And I hate it when it's this way around. I don't know. I don't know. It's just men being free spirits annoys me. I don't know why. It just always comes across as a bit disingenuous. Anyway, then they go to the bonfire, which is a very small fire pit.
Yeah.
Bonfire doing a lot of heavy lifting
Beverly
there.
talked a lot of stuff about everybody that's there. And how
Beverly's like,
friendly
"Let's
they
all
are."
hold hands." No, that's not Beverly. What
take
wet
everything that
hippie
you've
cult
learnt with you into your own lives, like archery,
archery, putting your stuff in a box so bears don't attack
climbing
it.
walls, do
Russian
these
Teddy
things.
the horse.
Teddy the fjord. Yeah. I mean, just what wet cult nonsense is this?
I thought Beverly wasn't even the main leader, but she just gets her.
She's just there.
She just gets involved in
The
everything.
main leader, I think, was someone else who's just like, I can't. She's just broken. She's just defeated by Beverly's constant optimism.
She's like, I still get the higher wages. She wants to do every fucking thing.
She wants to fucking go on about horses, mate, and I don't know, paint signs in the barn. The next morning, they're leaving. Lacey comes over to talk to young Sheldon, and he's like, "Oh, I've made you this necklace." And she's like, "You better not fancy me, you little shit." And he's like, "No, I fancy a girl called Tabitha, who is a real girl and not a cat." And she's like, "Oh, okay then. Give me your phone." Why? Because you're not having it back. And then she throws it and a bear eats it. That doesn't happen. She puts a number in and it's like, well, maybe you can say hello to me in school if you're not too much of a knobhead. And I was like, fuck you. You're not all that, Lacey. I don't know. She goes over to speak to Winnie from the Wonder Years, and she's got a proper cob on, hasn't she? She's like, no, we're going. Your dad's a prick.
And you're a prick by association.
Yeah, you're a child of prick. And that's it. They drive back. Like, he doesn't get to say goodbye.
No.
And they're both
he goes over to say something, and she sticks her hand out for a handshake instead, doesn't she?
And she's like, "Good day, sir."
Good day.
I said, "Good day." Yes, I was your sexy mountain girl, but now I must go back to my life in the city.
Sexy mountain.
They go back into the thing, and ethnic best friend reappears as if by magic.
It's some advice.
And he's like, "Girl, you've not even done your marking." And she's like, "Well, what does it matter if I don't do it?" And she's like, "I don't know. Even these kids are all thick as fuck anyway. One of your maths assignments was write a formula."
And one of the kids does it.
Yeah.
And then,
she just
we get
the
best person in this film, Gillian, who is the only person who speaks any sense in this film. She says, sometimes you've just got to keep rolling the dice and hope that you get the right number. And I was like, the dice metaphor's coming back again.
It was still on the board. It was on the board saying 1 in 6 chance of rolling a 6. Like, it's all she teaches.
So, like, literally, she talked to the chlorine man and Steve. So she's got 4 more goes here and then pick the best one, isn't it? That's how it is. That's using those maths.
Dating.
That's dating. Settle for the man who loves chlorine the most. Yeah, Gillian was the wise dice math there. Loads of gambling references.
She gets a single tear again there, doesn't she? And she gets all weird and like oversharing to a 12-year-old.
Yeah. And this kid's like, I just wanted an A.
How do you know if he's the one? What if it is? How do you know he's number 6 or whatever she says?
And she's just like, I'm 12.
I've done your stupid homework. No one else has.
Yeah. It's a story of growing pains. This. They go home, and young Sheldon's doing a lot better now. Like he's scored a goal. He's allowed to walk to school. He scored a goal, which from defence. Who is he? Sergio Ramos.
Hey!
Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
That's a defender who scores a load of goals. Apparently,
Okay.
I had to look it up. And he's got a fucking waistcoat on, the little Sheldon bastard. And they're both moping about. She's putting all the camping stuff in boxes. He's looking wistfully at a cappuccino maker. And they're both like, we need to get them together because this is bullshit. And so they go.
They can't function normally without each other.
No, and they go, let's take them to the dance together. So young Sheldon goes, come on, we're going to the dance. And she's like, I'm not going. And he goes, you're a chaperone, you have to. She goes, oh, okay. I was like, well, that was high stakes for a moment there, wasn't it? Whew. And he's just like, yeah, I'll go anyway. I don't care. No, he's like,
he doesn't have any children that go to that school.
He goes, I need to speak to her. And she's like, come on then, get home because you stink of pork still. Have a wash. And then I was like, how many dances do American kids have? Because it feels like once a month are these things. American people, get in touch. Like, how many dances did your school have? We had one at the end of the year. And it was shite. No one went to it because it was horrible. Because why would I want to go back to school in my off time?
You're buzzing on Panda Pops and Pixie Stick.
Well, up to a certain age. And
then you slid across the floor on your knees.
Yes. Until you're about 14. And then you're in white lightning before you go in. But, and then, like, ethnic best friend and Winnie from the Wonder Years are walking about slapping kids for having their hands too high and stuff.
6 inches away.
6 inches away. And I'm like, might not stop some of them. hands on hips, stuff like that. And I was like, is that actually not be hands on shoulders for both? But then it'd be like you're trying to strangle each other, I guess. So it's probably not for the best.
Then he turns up.
So much swaying to like dreary music. Someone put Safety Dance on.
Oh no, Tabitha comes up to Arthur.
Oh yeah. So
Arthur...
she was like, "Can you dance?" And then they step two steps away from the camera and then start dancing.
It's brilliant acting.
Arthur goes over to her because Lacey said, "Girls like boys who ask questions," or something like that.
Girls like cars and money.
Do they? I was like, "What's that smell? Is it you?" Stuff like that. Is it pork?
God, he's not dogs again.
Sheldon, here he comes. Comes out the same. And then he shows up. They're on a balcony. Ethnic best friend leaves. He appears and he's like, "I've got a plan. I want to roll it." He said, "I want to mess it up. Oh, you're the person I want to mess it up with."
I want to screw things up with you, but I didn't want to do anything because I was stupid scared, is what he said.
Stupid scared?
Stupid scared.
But she falls in love with him because he said he's had his suit pressed. And she was like, "But you planned something."
Yeah, he done a plan. And then he says, "I want to," and then they both go like, "Roll the dice and take a chance." Then they do a kiss and it ends. And then I've put, this could have been called Cubes and Pubes, Frozen Bones, or Live and Let Dice.
That last one's
nice.
And that's the film.
But it ends with them dancing not 6 inches away while loads of teenagers stare at them. I just thought that was really weird. They were like kissing and getting close while all these kids were just staring at them.
That's my mum.
You don't know if they have 15 dances a year, they might just be numb to it now.
Yeah, I mean, one of these things happens at every dance, doesn't it? Some revelation happens. So,
they weren't even dancing along. They were all just swaying with their arms crossed, watching these two adults go play nookie.
Yeah, and Sheldon's like, "That's my mum up there. Woo! Go on!
Go, Mum!"
And that was it. I didn't particularly not hate this. But
I quite liked
it. Not my favourite thing in the world. So I gave this 4.2 out of 10.
Oh, brutal.
I think having to watch it 3 times in a row numbed me to it a little bit. Plus also, Steve is unlikable. Young Sheldon is unlikable. Beverly is a menace.
Beverly saved it.
Beverly should be in all films. You know what? You got one of them escape rooms. There'll be an Ask Beverly button you can press.
She'll come in and just do it for you.
Get out, Beverly. You're wrong. No, I just it's fine.
I think I wouldn't give it loads more, but I think I'd give it a bit more, maybe 5 or 6. I thought it was quite sweet. Okay. Painfully cheesy, but it's Hallmark.
It's standard Hallmark. I think just the constant exposure to it has numbed me a little bit, much like children at a school dance.
I gave it 6.8, and that's only because I didn't like Steve. If it was another male actor, it might have got even higher.
6.8?
6.8. Just for Beverly.
I mean, Beverly does raise it 2 whole points in my book. Longest jingle in the world, that.
Look great. So, facts. So, as already alluded to, the main actress is called Danica McKellar, and she is a real-life math nerd. So she has a PhD in mathematics from University of Chicago and has 2 books on maths. Joe, it's like you wrote the titles of these. Do you want to guess what the names are?
Oh, are they puns?
One is a pun. One's like an outrageous, like really defensive statement.
Maths is cool, you git.
Pretty much. So the first one was called Maths Doesn't Suck.
Oh, mate. I mean, it kind of does. And the other one is...
This one's the pun one.
Oh, Up the Garden Math.
No. Kiss My Math.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
So, yeah. Best selling.
How'd you write books on math? Yeah. What's in it? Just sums?
In Byron.
Get them at school, yeah.
She wrote them. So one came out in 2007 and the other in 2008. So she had like a fury of maths ranks.
Get all the equations out of my brain. So
yeah. Danica McKellar and Paul Greene, who is Steve, have previously appeared together in the movie Perfect Match, which is another Hallmark Channel film. There you go.
Is he less of a knobhead than that?
I'm not watching anything else with him in. Oh,
We'll give it a while. Danica McKellar's normally a solid bet.
Yeah, and Danica's son Draco, interesting name, appears as an extra in the camping store at the beginning. So.
Nepotism. Rampant in the McKellar.
Paul Greene's been quite in a few shows, but is best known for being Dr. Carson Shepherd in When Goes the Heart, which is nonsensical.
That's a Hallmark.
Soap opera thing.
That's the soap opera one. A soap opera. That's in like Frontier Times, I think.
When Goes the Heart. The heart.
The pirates are there now as well.
In the American frontier, yeah. Like Little House on the Prairie, but with cannon.
But it's the daughter, Steve's daughter. Did you recognise her, Bernie? Because I recognised her. I don't know if you've seen her before.
No.
Did you watch that programme Firefly with Firefly Lane with Katherine Heigl? It's like a Netflix thing. It was on last year. So it was quite good actually. I enjoyed it. It's got Katherine Heigl. So the daughter, Ali Scofby, plays young Katherine Heigl in it, and it's also got Elliot from Scrubs in it. It's quite good. I enjoyed it. It was actually a good thing. And
Oh, I think I remember seeing the trailer for that, and I got sad because I thought it was Firefly. I thought, they brought Firefly back, and no, it wasn't.
Firefly Lane.
Katherine Heigl's in it, in case you didn't know. You mentioned her about 9 times.
I did.
Yeah.
Katherine Heigl hasn't it?
She's in it, you know.
Well, she's legit famous.
Isn't she? Mum?
She is, yeah. She's been in actual proper film.
Yeah, good.
Unlike
all played the same character each time, but
yeah.
In it.
I found out yesterday on Netflix that Rebel Wilson's got another film. Who keeps giving her money to make films?
Oh, is this the one? It came up on my
Years.
Netflix. That's it. Came up on my Netflix. And I was like, oh god, here we go.
Yeah, it's 13 going on 30 again, isn't it? But she's been in a coma. Which I'm fairly sure I've already seen her do that. But she wakes up in a rom-com.
Oh yeah, she does. Me and Harvey watched that one.
Yeah, I was just like, who keeps making these films with her? And I thought Adam Sandler keeps getting money off net as well. It's no wonder the subscription rate is dropping, is it?
I watched that one that she was in with
Jason Derulo, Cats.
Jason Derulo. Say his name properly.
No, and I forgot her name. Well, good story, isn't it?
Yeah, come on, moving on.
Hustle, where she's like a horrible woman who hustles people, and it's just her again, isn't it? What's she called? The one in Les Mis.
Anne Hathaway.
Anne Hathaway.
She just said Devil Wears Prada.
What is love? That's hard. Come on.
That's it.
Is that it? You've led us up the garden path waiting for something else, and it was
No, the garden mat.
Anne Hathaway. Just Anne Hathaway facts waiting to happen.
So, this one has lots and lots of good reviews. So, obviously, Joe didn't write any of them.
How dare you?
So, this one is entitled Renaming Campfire Kiss, which is referring to the glamping aspect of it. And this is by Gina Sharp in October 2020. She gave it a 4 out of 10. This was a cute movie, but would have liked to see more rustic camping and without kids.
Weird choice, but okay.
That, of course, is my personal preference. I like the main couple and their chemistry. I gave this a lower score than my normal Hallmark movie, but I thought the end kind of fell flat after the camping trip.
It was 8 minutes after the camping trip had finished.
Well, it fell flat. Gina Sharp did not like it.
Gina Sharp was, sharp as a tack, Gina.
There was a lot of kids in the last 8 minutes, so...
Too many kids.
There's too many of them there. Gina Sharp's not allowed near them. That's the problem.
Okay, this is a good one. Typical love story. 8 out of 10 by Jewel.
Was she going to sneeze?
Jewel, November 2020. Well, me and the wife watched this and thought it to be very good. Yes, I will recommend it. James Welch Henderson and Carcass, 11/16/2020.
What?
Do you know, like, on Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
Code?
No, do you like on Brooklyn Nine-Nine where he signs everything sincerely, Bremen Holt?
Oh, right.
So I think Jewel is James Welch Henderson and Carcass.
And Carcass?
Or and Kansas. I don't know, someplace in America.
Right, okay. I thought you said... right.
I thought that was all his name. Like,
yeah,
I thought it's like a really long...
That's a long...
Give me a review. James Welch Henderson.
How's that Jewel... How's that even come close to it?
I don't know. So I message him and ask.
Do it, coward.
And then last one is by Limited Hippo.
Oh no.
From March 2017. And I thought this one will lead us up to what we'll be doing next. This is a 3 out of 10. Just okay. Love the scenery, not the female lead. She always looks so sad and pouty. She came across as not very likable. Like the male lead, and the kids were fine. Not my favourite, not the worst I've seen. Would love to see more movies with Alicia Witt. I would also love to see some Christmas movies during the summer.
Who the fuck is Alicia Witt?
I don't know.
I'm looking at the cast list here. No one's called Alicia Witt.
Well,
very prescriptive, isn't he? I want exactly these things. Well, if he likes Christmas in June,
go on, tell him.
You tell him.
No, I'm looking up Alicia Witt, mate.
Why? Just ask Limited Hippo. It's fine.
I can't. I only speak to unlimited hippos. You can't put a limit on the hippos. Oh, she's a Hallmark actress. Oh, we've seen her in something. Yeah. Okay. I'm with Limited Wit on that one. Yes. Throughout the month of June, as it is half Christmas, we will be doing Christmas films because there are so many of them. We've already got 3 of them picked out, but I might put a poll up, see if anyone wants to suggest them or something. Or if you want to suggest them, and then, I don't know, we'll work some out. But yeah, I think the first one is Too Many Santas or Santas a Go-Go, Unlimited Santas, I think it's
Meet
called.
the Santas.
Yeah, beat some Santas with a stick.
I'm just thinking Limited Hippos meet the Unlimited Santas.
All the Santas piled onto one hippo.
Oh, I think we should watch TSI again. The Santa incident.
We can do that in our own time if you want to go take a trip to the Ghost Factory.
I think it might just rotate into my regular Chris viewing that.
It's a cracking film, The Ghost. And the most drunk Santa in the world. Yes, in conclusion, that was 2017's Campfire Kiss. Your favourite lines from the film, if you can remember any of them.
Love you s'more.
I'm officially enjoying getting to know you.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.